What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the next guest episode, our next guest introduction for the Outside the Octagon podcast. I'm the host, Charleston Payne. To my left, co-host Jude Starnes, and joining us today, the one and only, quite possibly the greatest cut man of all time. It's a very big honor to have Mr. Brad Tate on. That damn Tate, and he's that guy too. Let me tell you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the introduction, man. I really thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And before we really get started, man, I mean, I know you're kind of in the spotlight most of the time and everything. Like, what's a day in the life of Brad Tate, the person, like, and how are you doing as a person outside of the spotlight? That's something I really like to ask all the guests that we have on, just to make sure that everything's all right in life, you know?
What do you mean? How am I dealing with it, or what?
Like how are you doing in general? Like how is the man, Brad Tate?
Man, my day is good. I'm surrounded by a great family, a great support system. Like, I got a lot of love. The fans have embraced me, so I'm very appreciative of that. So again, it kind of came on, and it happened really fast for me. And I'm trying to like go with it. But like, man, my days are just simple, man. I keep it very simple. I keep it very happy and lighthearted. So I don't let too much bother me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I got to say, I'm pretty much the same way, man. I just kind of stay to myself. I do my own thing. You know, I appreciate when people kind of recognize me for what I do and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, I'm my own person outside of being a podcast host.
What do you do?
So I do this really like on the side right now because I'm really just trying to get started in it and stuff. Like I said, you know, before we started, we've been doing it for a month and a half or since April 1st. So I guess 2 months now. But I work at a little golf shop and stuff right now, like kind of do full-time work over there. I go to college. Jude goes to college as well. We're here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I don't know if you're really familiar with the area, but
I am. How y'all dealing with all the rain?
It don't never stop, man. Let me tell you that. It never ends. Jude, tell them about it.
Oh man, that's always rain. Like every evening it's raining here.
Yeah, I know. I was seeing the news. They were saying y'all were getting hit. Was it a tropical storm or something like that going on right now?
Yeah, it hasn't hit yet, but they shut down like in the area we're from. We're from down here, like I'm like 45 minutes east of Baton Rouge is where I'm from. And they shut down like all the waterways and stuff like that. Like are you familiar with Hammond, Louisiana?
I know exactly where Hammond is.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm from. I'm from a little small town right on the outside of it called Albany. Jude and I both. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You go right down there off the I-10 and then it splits and then it takes you up to Hammond and all that stuff right before you go into Mobile and all that good stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah, so you're really familiar with the area then.
Yeah. So I used to drive the Octagon. So some years back, I used to drive the Octagon around to all the venues and stuff. So I would do that corridor a lot when we go to Jacksonville. I would drive down always on that Friday evening coming into it is Baton Rouge, coming in there. You know how the I-10, how you come off that bridge and that traffic is like a nightmare trying to get over there because everybody's trying to get on the 10 and keep going.
Man, like I said, we're based in Baton Rouge now. I live out here. I go to LSU and stuff. And let me tell you, that traffic does not stop, brother.
How's y'all's football team looking this year? Is it going to be good?
I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. I know they expanded the playoff and everything. And I don't know, are you a big football guy?
Oh, yeah. Huge football guy, man. I love football. I know y'all got Kelly down there. I hope Kelly, I don't know, man. I think y'all missed on that hire. I'll be very honest with you. You know, I don't know why they went to get him at Notre Dame. I don't think he was ever successful at Notre Dame like they wanted him to be. So I don't know why LSU would go and spend that kind of money on him.
I love it. You know why I love that? I love that you're saying that. Because I do believe that you're the only person that I've ever spoken to, at least in a podcast setting, that agreed with me on that. Because that's something I've been saying.
I think it was a draw. Like, I don't think he's ever won to be at a school like LSU. You know, when you think of LSU, man, you think it's either title or nothing. Y'all don't play to win SEC championships. Y'all play to win in the bowl, to play in the big games. And then, like, I was like, very, like, even when he came there and tried to do that old fake Louisiana accent, I was like, this dude is a clown. No, so I don't know if I don't even know if they're gonna embrace him like they would, man. He's not a Southern boy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and
I didn't fit.
And one thing about it, man, like the first day he came down to Baton Rouge, he did the whole Southern accent thing at an LSU basketball game. And us
That was
students,
terrible.
we get the free tickets and stuff for student section basketball. So I go to the student section. I'm in there at the game. I'm way down low and everything. And I hear him do the Southern accent. And I was like, oh, like I probably would have liked you a little bit more had you not tried that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he came in trying to win y'all over with that, bro. You're not from down here. You don't know about the boudin and the po' boys. So like it's kind of pointless for him to even try to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no doubt about that.
So we talking college football. You got a team in particular that you kind of favored or you kind of like?
Bro, I'm like I'm from Texas, so you know I'm already with the hook'em. So I know y'all got our D line coach. Y'all stole him because I guess y'all promised y'all promised y'all promised him that y'all would recruit his son and give him a freaking scholarship to get him down there. And I know Bo was his I think he was from LSU, so he wanted to go back home. So I know like y'all stole our D line coach, but then I know we're getting a lot of kids from there. I think that receiver decommitted from y'all, and he's looking at Texas now. Y'all
Yeah.
lost a lot of yeah. So like I said, man, college sports is going to get very interesting here because you know I like to brag. Don't nobody got the money Texas got, and right now it's pay for play. So you know a lot of teams are going to be left out.
And another thing, man, a lot of people say Austin, Texas, the place to be right now. I mean, like when you think about guys like even Rogan, for example, a guy that's kind of in your field, you know, like Rogan moved all his podcasts and all that stuff down there to Austin. So,
Man, Austin is good, but I'm telling you right now, there's so many people from California moving to Texas. It's kind of
that's
weird right
true.
now. You know, they're driving the price up. So if y'all, like I said, if Baton Rouge is a nice area, man, keep it to yourself because you don't want these people from California moving down there and taking over.
Man, amen to that, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't say it's the nicest area though. They could have Baton Rouge.
Nah,
Man,
bro, you don't like I said, y'all say that because y'all been there, man. But like I know when I've ever driven through there, besides the traffic part, like the food is second to none down there, man. Like I remember we had a show in Louisiana, I mean in New Orleans, and we went to this restaurant called Mother's. And man, everybody in the UFC went to that place every day because it was so good from the gumbo. We just went in there and like it was crazy because if you came at a certain time, they would run out of food. And you would just go there and they'd be like, yo, we want the gumbo. We ain't got gumbo. Like, what do you got? They were like, we got some chicken left. Like, give it to us. Like, it was so good, man. Everybody loved being in Louisiana because the food is so good. I mean, there's a place, God, it's probably like an hour west of Baton Rouge, and it's a truck stop. It's a Sinclair truck stop. And I know they got like the best boudin sausage I've ever had, bro. Like I literally stopped there, got 3 sausages, and was driving and ate them so fast, bro. I was 20 miles down the road, no lie, turned around and went back and bought the rest of them.
Yes, man, that's
That is the true story. I was like, this shit is so good, man. The crawfish, the fried shrimp, the tartar sauce. Man, I love Louisiana. The food is second to none down there.
yeah. And man, one thing that I could say, I watched a video on YouTube not long ago, and they had a guy that was like ranking all 50 states from top to bottom, starting at the bottom, and he put Louisiana at like number 48. And I was like, what is going through this guy's mind? So then I was like, after I heard that, I was like, no, I don't even want to watch it no more. So then I turned it off and I was like, wait, I got to go back again. I got to see what he had at number 1. He had New York at number 1. And there is no way New York is 47 spots better than Louisiana.
I mean, if you're from the East Coast, man, it's all relative. Like, cause we just did that show in Jersey, and like, I'm a Texas boy, so I'm not a big fan of New York. Like, I'm not a fan of being on top of each other and just small, and you know, you spending a bunch of money for literally nothing. So for me, I like my space, but like, I mean, New York does have good food, but I wouldn't rank it like that. Like for me, like I said, Louisiana's got to be in the top 10. Uh, and then I don't know, man. Like I like Texas for the barbecue. I'm gonna always put Texas up there because I'm a Texas boy. But as far as like all my travels where I've had like good food, where I was like Louisiana was up there. New York is cool, but I enjoy Vegas. Vegas kind of has everything. Uh, That's a tough question, man. Where the best places to eat? I'm gonna just give it to y'all, man. Louisiana. Like I gotta say, Louisiana is the best. Texas and Louisiana for me. Chicken fried steak, you know, or yeah, like so. I don't. Yeah. I would go. It's somewhere in the South, brother. It's got to be in the South. So
I
Alabama,
agree.
It
Yeah.
has to be
South got
South.
the best food. So for me, I'm gonna say Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. That's the top. That's gonna be your top tens right there for the best food.
I love it. I love the list you gave us. And I appreciate you
I
for
agree.
giving us a little respect, because apparently some of these YouTube guys out here don't really know what the Southern food scene is about. Especially, and I mean, a lot of people like Louisiana food, but then sleep on Texas food, man. Because you go over to Texas, you get the good barbecue, like pulled pork,
Tex-Mex. I
man.
mean, Tex-Mex is
Yeah.
great here, man. I've been losing weight, but I haven't been doing my fast food. But Whataburger,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
bro, Whataburger is for me. You can have In-N-Out Burger, Whataburger, then Dairy Queen, like just the food. Like so, that's why everybody's so big down here. But other than that, yeah, Louisiana, man, y'all got a sleeping gym there. It's crazy people don't really recognize and give it love. I mean, I definitely know when they go to New Orleans, Essence Fest and Mardi Gras, but like I love the South, man. The Southern people are really cool, man. They really are.
Yeah.
They really get it.
And you can't match the hospitality.
100%, 100. And then they get to talking their accent. Everybody gets called baby. Yeah, man, it's amazing. And then like when you're driving and you cross Lake Pontchartrain, you see everybody in the middle just fishing and having a good old time. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's a good experience.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of, I was gonna ask you if you had any like hobbies like fishing or hunting that you like to do when you're not working.
Man, when I'm not doing a show, man, I'm a big reader. I'm an avid reader. So I'll probably read like 6 or 7 books at one time. But like I'm not big on hunting, but I love being by water. So like when in Florida, I'll go to the beach and just chill. I had this little place in Oklahoma, like Murray, that was a lake house, and I would go over there and just chill by the lake. So like when I'm not doing something, man, I like to read and just kind of be by myself. I love going to movies. I can go sit in a movie theater all day too. So anything to just kind of decompress and just take a step back is something I'll do.
Yes, sir, man. I mean, what's like your main genre of books that you get into? That's really interesting about you, that I'm sure not a lot of people really know that.
So for me, I'm gonna read anything that's gonna make me grow. I love nonfiction. I was big on mafia stuff, but I pretty much read most of that. I love military because I come from a long family full of military. But my brother's an officer in the army. My dad's retired. Sister was in the Air Force. So I do that, and then I love true crime, but I love stuff like right now I'm reading philosophies like Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, the Stoic, stuff like that. Things that like I really like. Even if you go on my Instagram, you see me always posting like inspirational stuff, and then you see me posting the dumbest thing. So you're like, man, this guy can be so smart on one hand and then a complete jackass on the other. I like to keep him guessing.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about that, man. And that's one thing that really stuck out to me about you, is how you really have like used social media to build a brand around yourself and like the person that you are. Because I mean, it's incredible to be able to like, in the opportunities that we have now with Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube, it's incredible to be able to like connect with people without even really being able to be there. And like, it kind of gives you like a more open end to a person that you enjoy seeing a lot of.
Well, I mean, I will tell you, like, not everything on Facebook or Instagram is real because social
Right.
media is exactly that. I like to be genuine, and I think that's why I've been well received. Is because what you see is what you get. You shoot me a message. If I'm not busy, I'll respond. As long as it doesn't get to the point where it's too crazy, where I'm like I've been asked a million questions, but I embrace that, man. I hope I never get to a point where I forget about these moments matter to me, and don't get me wrong, like you take like a guy like those guys that are A-listers, it gets old, man. You can't respond to a million people, but like right now it's small for me. So if I can talk to people and converse with people, I want to do that. I never want to ever get to the point where I like don't want to enjoy talking to people because I still want to learn and I want to know, you know, and that's big to me. So for me, with social media, I'm very genuine with it. You know, I keep some things private. Like I'll never post like my family and that, but like
Right.
the shows and me at the shows interacting with the fighters, that's all very genuine.
Right. Yeah.
And one thing I was gonna say when we was talking about books, you say you brought up military books. I like to read here and there. And a book that I was gonna suggest to you if you haven't read it before is it's called Marine Sniper. 93 confirmed kills. It's about Carlos Hathcock. If you like Vietnam,
I've read about Half Pipe. I
it's
remember
really
that
good.
book. I remember when he was hunting that one female lady, and like he was like out in the bush, and he was like laid in the sun for like 3 days and got sunburned and ate by ants, but he was like inching because he shot like a general, but he like had to step out, and like every day he would only move like a couple of feet to get into position.
Yeah, they had people
Hello?
walking over the top of them.
Oh yeah. I remember. I have read that book before. It was really good.
Yeah, I
Like
really like it.
another good book, like every SEAL that's read, is called Men with Green Faces. Like that was a very good book. So most Navy SEAL guys have read that book. So if you haven't read it, it's a really good book. Men with Green Faces.
Man
Yeah,
with green face.
I'm about to save that right
I'm about to
now.
write that down real quick.
It's a really good read, man. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's a page
I got
turner.
that
You
wrote
can't put it
down.
down.
Yeah, I was a big Carlos Hathcock fan, so that's why I read that book. I really like Carlos Hathcock a lot.
Man, his story was pretty amazing. I liked it. I did read about
He
him.
got so many crazy ones. Then he got the one where he shot through the other sniper's scope and everything.
Yeah,
And that was a
I
crazy.
remember that one. I remember that because he was in Vietnam, and I remember like one of the deadliest Vietnam snipers was a woman.
Yeah.
I remember that story, and then I remember him with the guys going up the hill. So yeah, I remember a lot of his stuff. It was a very good read.
Yeah, that was a good book.
And then the thing about it is, like, you look at a picture, he was just a little guy. Like he was like this little wiry guy, but he was the deadliest sniper, man. It was crazy.
And he is from the middle of nowhere out in Arkansas, kind of like us here in Louisiana.
Yeah, one shot, one kill. That's why, like, I saw that post on Instagram, and they divided the United States up, and they had the South and the Northeast and the middle. They were like, if we went to war with each other, who would win? I'm like, the South, of course.
Yeah,
For sure.
Like, who's gonna debate that? Like,
But people will. Like, you got East Coast people talking trash. I'm like, bro, it's the South. Listen, the South. Nobody is better than the South. You know, you guys hunt for fun. Like they've been doing this. They were born to do this kind of stuff.
yeah, like we hunt to go eat. You know, we hunt to put food on the table around here. So like, I mean, it we different, man. And you know, you say you from Texas and stuff, so you know how it is.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody in Texas has a gun.
Oh yeah, man. I had one of my friends come by one day. This is probably gonna get demonetized right here from talking about all this stuff. But
Who cares, man?
but we were talking, and he's like, man, like what's your stance on like guns and stuff? I was like, which one you want to know about? The kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom?
Oh yeah. Everybody has guns, man. I definitely, like I said, I don't get political, but yeah, everybody should have a gun.
Yeah, I mean
this time of age.
Yeah, that's common sense. I mean, you are your own militia, you know, like not that you should go do something with it that's ignorant, but like you should have it for your own self-defense if need be, because today is getting crazy. And that's one thing that Louisiana just did. And again, not to like really go into political or anything, but they did the same thing that Texas did recently and opened the concealed carry law.
Oh
So
wow,
it's like concealed carry for everybody. So
congratulations on that. Yeah, I've been noticing like Louisiana's been doing a lot of stuff. Like again, like Louisiana will take 2 steps forward and then take 8 steps back, and then they'll do this. But I mean, again, what can you say, man? Y'all got the parishes down there. You got a different set of law, but I mean, it's still good. I've always enjoyed Louisiana. You know, the boot. You know, DC's from Louisiana, so he always reps Louisiana. Dustin Poirier is from there. So, you know, you guys had a lot of good fighters come out of there, and they've always shown love to Louisiana.
oh yeah, man. I mean, you can't leave the place and not respect it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a guy from the same hometown as us, a little small hometown in Louisiana called Albany, and Kurt Hollabaugh, he won the Ultimate Fighter, and he's from the little town we in.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yeah, he won. I think it was last year or year before.
I think
it was the Ultimate Fighter 31 is the one he won.
Okay.
The lightweight guy.
Has he been back there? Is he still there? Or did he leave?
He fought in April.
He fought at 299 for the Ultimate Fighter. And then he's been in and out. He fought, or not, maybe not 299. It was the O'Malley fight.
Yeah, it was O'Malley Aljo in Boston is whenever he fought for the Ultimate Fighter.
299.
Okay. Oh, nice. So let me ask you guys, how hard was it to start a podcast? Like, how did you guys do it? Like, what all do you need to start a podcast?
So,
because I see everybody's got podcasts now.
So this is something that I've been doing. Me personally, I started my first podcast when I was 16 years old, sophomore in high school, you know. So what happened was, to get started, this is actually a really funny story, and I'm super glad that you asked this, to be honest with you. I saved up a lot of money, and the PlayStation 5 was just coming out. Okay. I saved up my money to go get the PS5. I go sit outside of the GameStop. I sit there. I get there. It was Thanksgiving night, so that Thursday night, and I guess it was 2021, somewhere in that range, or 2020, I guess. And I'm sitting outside of GameStop. I get there Thursday night at like 6, 7 p.m. I'm the third person in line for the PS5. And I stay out there all night long. 7 a.m. is when they open the doors. They open the doors. When they left that night before, they didn't tell us how many they had. They come back the next morning, open the doors. We got 2 PS5s. We got 2 Xboxes. And I was number 3 in line for PlayStation. There was a separate Xbox line. And there's like, by this point, there's like 50 people in line. And nobody realized like how little of a quantity these stores would have, because there was no access to the actual numbers that they would get, like I said. And obviously, me being third in line, I didn't get my PS5, so I had money left over, and I texted in a group chat with with some of my friends. I was like, "Hey, like, I got money, and I'm a 16-year-old kid, man. It was burning a hole in my pocket. Like, I probably had never even seen $600 at that point, and I had saved up, man. I worked hard. I was cutting grass and everything, and then text my buddies. One of my friends texts back. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do a podcast." So I get on Amazon. Spent $400 on a soundboard, which not this soundboard, because this one's way more pricey. We made a few upgrades and stuff recently. Soundboard, some extremely cheap microphones. I got a decent laptop. I mean, just like the basics, like the bare necessities of it. And over the last 5 years, you know, I've been blessed to be able to upgrade the setup, get some more stuff coming in. I got the SM7B microphones, which is the same one that like a lot of podcasts use. Like, I don't know if you know the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz. They use them. Rogan uses these. So I've been blessed to get up to this point. We got the soundboard upgraded now. Like, I have different sound bites and stuff in there. I'll let you hear this one. I don't know if it'll let you hear it through the computer or not, but we'll try it. Let me know if you can hear it.
The king is back.
Yeah, we got that one in there. So like I could throw different sound bites in, you know, like I got like an air horn.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So how much do you think it takes to start a podcast? What does it take? How much do you think you need?
If you want to start with a really good setup, you're looking at probably around, depending on how many people you're gonna have on at a time. If it's you and a co-host, you and one other person at a time, I would probably say you'd need, for a great setup, probably around $1,500 to $1,700. But if you want to start out the way I did, you could go the route I went and start out with bare necessities, like not that great of microphones and everything else. I mean, I have the microphones and stuff. I could show them to you post episode or whatever, but you could go with just the bare necessities and you could get into it for probably around $400 from there.
Nice. And now you're just in the process of just building, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're just building a brand, building around what we have, you know. When I started, like I said, I had just the cheap microphones and stuff. I got one of these 7Bs. I got another one finally, then I got another soundboard and just kept growing from there, man.
Man, that's awesome. I love to hear that, man. That's why like I really do enjoy coming on these kind of podcasts, man, because you never know, like in a couple of years you'll blow up or whatever. So I really enjoy that, man. Like I said, I really enjoy learning. I love learning from people, and I love talking to people. Like I don't mind doing the podcast at all. Sometimes I know everybody wants to talk MMA and this, but I like just to talk to and learn from you guys. And you guys got a story too, man. Like it's not always about that. So, you know, and again, I really can't thank you guys enough for it, man. And like, there's so much for us to talk about. I mean, MMA is just a small little area about it, but I know that's what you guys want to talk about. So if you have questions about MMA and whatever you guys would like, I would definitely answer them for you.
Okay. Yes, sir. I mean, we got a few that we had kind of debated about before. So if you want to kind of move into that a little bit,
No,
if that's cool with you.
Shoot. Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the main one I wanted to ask is how did you get a start in what you do? Like, how did you become a cut man? I know obviously you're like a certified EMT, right?
Yeah, I was a paramedic, man, and like I said, I've told this a lot. Like I was a medic, and I say that not every medic is going to be a cut man, but the process that I went through is I was a medic. I was giving fighters IVs, and then I realized I wanted to be part of the show. So I went to Bird and was like, "Hey, what can I do in this company? I would like a job here." And I was like, I'm good with blood. I'm a paramedic. I could do this. And he was like, "Hey, you got to learn how to wrap hands and then work these smaller shows." And so that was what was integral with Jackson's Wink, because I could go there, and at that time they were the gym to be, and they had all the fighters in there. So, and it sucked because I would be begging those guys to like let me wrap their hands. They get the hell out of here. And so guys that were small would do it, and I had to buy the gauze and the tape and slowly work my way up. And then Melvin Gillard liked the way I wrapped his hands, and I could fly. So I would go to the shows, and he told Bert, "Hey, I want this guy to wrap my hands." And the rest is kind of history, man, from there. But I just didn't give up and kept doing it. It took me about 6 to 7 years once I finally started wrapping hands and working on smaller shows to get that call to come up to the UFC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's really inspirational and stuff. And like I said, like we really appreciate you being on and everything. And that's kind of why we came up with the name Outside the Octagon podcast, because we wanted to talk about stuff like we talked about today, just chat with people that has to do with MMA and try to, because everybody obviously is going to ask you about MMA. So we want to give people the opportunity to hear about what these MMA fighters or people in the MMA profession do on the everyday.
No, I love it. I love it. I love the way you guys are going. So it's a pleasure of mine. I love what you guys are doing.
Yes, sir. Man, I really appreciate you saying that. I really do appreciate it, man. And then there's a couple more that I had, and I know Jude's probably got a few that he wants to get off for you about MMA. But one thing I wanted to ask is if you could do anything different or take another career path. I'm pretty sure I could probably answer this question myself, but if you could do anything different or take another career path, would you do it?
I don't typically have regrets. I wish I could have done some things differently, but I'm pretty happy with the way things turned out. So yeah, man, I'm blessed where I'm at, and I'm only going to keep getting better. So I'm happy, man. The final chapter is not written yet. We don't know how big we're going to make this, and hopefully with your guys' help and everybody else, man, we can get it bigger.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's what we want to do, man. We kind of noticed that like MMA is really like the UFC and stuff is on a rise right now. Like it's being more talked about. Like it's becoming more and more prominent every day. And it was kind of like the perfect time for us to jump in. And then that's whenever I originally reached out to you and stuff like that, right? Whenever the ideas were flowing about us getting started. And that's why I'm really honored to be able to have you on and be able to be face to face with you and kind of talking about some of these and asking some questions,
Yeah, brother, no problem.
Yeah, we and like I said, we from Louisiana, so that's another reason. Like one of our main goals is one, we want to talk to Dustin Poirier really bad, of course, because he's from here at some point. So we like to meet him for sure. But to get the UFC event back in Louisiana, we really want him to come back because Louisiana, we got we do some brawling and stuff, so we want to see those events come back here, man.
I would love to come back down there. And I mean, as far as like Dustin, man, you guys just keep reaching out. Eventually he might hear. So that's the thing too. Like I tell people, like when people like reach out to me and they're shocked that it's me, I'm like, man, you gotta keep doing it. It doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, eventually he might see it. Eventually he might say, yeah, and eventually he might give you guys his shot because he's really big about that. He gave somebody an opportunity. So that's the cool part about this sport, man. That's what I love about MMA.
Yeah, we've actually been really blessed with the fighters coming on. Like we've had Liz Carmouche, she was one of the first women's fighters. Then Miranda Maverick, we actually so we was asking about her companies and stuff, and we actually struck up a deal and we got sponsored by our pickle company like this early on. That's not something we really anticipated coming so soon, and it was just like crazy. It was like, man, we can really do something with this podcast. Like, we're getting sponsors this quick. If we just stay consistent and we don't get like just like down about being turned down sometimes and stuff going wrong, we could really do something with this. So
Yeah, consistency is the key in this sport and in life. Consistency, bro. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always lived by that. And that's one thing that before we started this podcast, Jude and I made a promise like, hey, like if we're going to do this, we're going to drop every episode at the day, at the time we say we're going to do it, unless there is like an absolute emergency. We're not going to miss an episode. We're going to stay consistent. We're going to stay on our path.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. One more thing that I have for you, or actually I got two more for you for sure that I want to ask. I wanted to talk about one fight that when I really started paying a lot more attention to MMA and stuff, right whenever we're about to start the podcast, the Robert Whitaker-Paulo Costa fight. You were in Robert Whitaker's corner as the cut man. And Whitaker got caught with that spinning heel kick to the head. I don't know if you remember that or not, but when he got caught with that, it was right before the end of the first round. He was like absolutely in a daze. What's going through your mind at that moment as the cut man, knowing that you were about to hop in the octagon and that kick just landed with 1 second left and you got to try to settle this guy down? And obviously it's his coach's and trainer's job to help do that, but you're you're the paramedic in this situation. So like, what's going through your mind to kind of slow the process of what's going on now?
Man, I just read about that today where like military and Navy SEALs, it's like calm. The leader or whatever is calm. So like for me to have a calm demeanor, so when you see things happening like that, like you got to try to stay calm. Like it does mean, and I've gotten frantic in the corner before and it didn't go well. So for me, man, you take a deep breath and you just go in there and you just stay calm. You look at him, you get him to sit down on the stool, you center him, and you just go to work on him. He's a professional. All the guys are professionals. He's going to sit on the stool. He knows what's going on. He knows what's there, and he knows that I'm there to help him. So he's going to let me help him. He's going to receive it. I'm going to stay calm. He's going to get instructions, and then he's going to come out there and continue to do what he's going to do.
yeah, and one thing I was gonna ask you, kind of MMA based, is like, is there any like challenges? Like, is there anything that's in particularly challenging to you is at your job? Like,
Yeah, like if the fighters don't face me, like if they stand and lean on the cage, like Kevin Holland's really big about that. Like if they don't sit on the stool or whatever. But honestly, man, from my years of being a paramedic, this is still a sport. So there's not life and death. We say that, but I mean, the toughness of the job is the personalities. Uh, you know, uh, you got a lot of personalities, and you are basically with these people more than you are with your family members. So sometimes, that's kind of something, but it's fun. But for me, no, man. Like I don't. There's challenges, but you just take them in stride. Kevin Holland won't face me. Hey, and you got there. So you assess the situation and you act accordingly. Like if he's cut, if a fighter's cut, then they'll sit. If he's leaning against the cage and facing the cage, he's really not that bad off. So, and again, man, I'm still learning. Like I love to everybody's like you're the best, you're great, but I'm still learning. There's still things that you will learn because no fight is ever the same. So you got to stay humble and you got to stay willing to learn and be a student of the game as well.
Yes, sir. One thing that caught me off guard that you did, back to kind of social media and everything that you do, you got me good, man. We started our podcast April 1st, and as soon as I finished recording, that was probably a couple weeks after I'd first gotten in touch with you. We finished recording. I get on my Instagram, on the podcast Instagram page that we had just created. I'm scrolling through, and one of the first posts I see is your post, and you have the Bellator logo up. Oh, yeah. And you said you was making the move to Bellator. And I knew from that moment, I said, the day I get to interview Brad Tate, I have to ask him why he did all of us like that.
Man, because that's my personality, man. I love to have fun. I love the smile is genuine. I was a class clown in high school. I was a class clown all in life, and I'm still a class clown. So again, like I said, my Instagram is genuine and it's me. So I thought it would be funny. You know, a lot of people were like, and it was funny how everything really like people really were. There were fans that were like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Bro, April Fool." And they're like, "Oh, April Fool's a good one." You know, so man, I like to have fun. Some of the jokes hit and people laugh. Some of the jokes don't hit and people like, "What a dickhead move." So even when I'm commenting on a lot of the posts, man, like sometimes it's funny and sometimes like, you know, but you get me. I'm 100% me. So, you know, it is what it is. And I just love enjoying life, man. I love living and I love having fun.
And that's one thing I appreciate about you, man. Like every social media post you make, you could just tell that it's really genuine and it's really you, you know? And like,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that about people that don't put on a facade or anything whenever they go into their social media life, because a lot of people will do that. And you know that we spoke about that earlier in the episode. And one thing that you do from what I see is you seem to always keep it real, whether it be on your post in the comment section of another post or wherever it may be. You're Brad Tate 100% of the time.
Yes, sir. That's all I can be. Yep. 100%. Thank you.
Amen, man. Amen. I love it. I love it. Got a couple more things that I have for you. First thing that I want to say right quick is about the fans getting the whole Cutman rundown whenever you're going into the venue. You know, I've seen some of the videos you post. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean?
Like whenever a fan asks you, hey, like, can you get me right with the Vaseline and stuff like that you use? And
I love doing it, and I'll be very honest with you. It's just as exciting for me as it is for them. So when I do it, but I'm still like shocked, like, you really want me to do this? And I'm like, you got like, as a kid growing up, man, I used to hate when my mom would like slime me with grease. And now you got people like, put grease on me, you know, and it's like, all right, you know, but I love interacting with the fans and I will never change. Like, I love that. I mean, and most of the fans are respectful. Sometimes they'll say something, you like give them a look like, are you serious? Sometimes they'll have a couple of too many ones to drink and you're like, bro, come on. But I will never change. I really, really, truly enjoy interacting with the fans and it's fun. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So I'm always going to take that moment. You know, like I try to acknowledge every one of them. I try to shake every one of them's hand. I try to, whatever I can do to make a fan feel like, hey, he got the real Brad Tate and he got a great MMA experience, then I'm going to do it. And I'll say again, I enjoy it just as much as them. I really do, man. Like when I wrap a kid's hand, he's lighting up. Bro, the inner kid in me is happy as well. Like, you know, I'm a football fan. I could not imagine playing catch with Tom Brady or Troy Aikman or, you know, catching a ball with Emmitt Smith or something like that, or hanging out and chopping it up with Lawrence Taylor. So that's kind of great for me to keep that in the back of my mind. And so when I'm at an event and someone's talking to me, man, it's just great. Like I'm like, hey, you know, so and I love that. I love that feeling. It's just as much fun for me.
Hey, you say you love football. You're gonna have to I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Tiger Stadium is the loudest stadium in college football. They say you're gonna have to come catch a night game down here one day.
You know, I really want to. I got a lot of friends. I got friends that played at Auburn, and I definitely heard that y'all are a rowdy bunch. So I definitely want to experience that. I know I went to the Texas LSU game when LSU played Texas here. So we kind of got a little bit of a rivalry because I remember something about the kids drinking the water or whatever. But I really like college football. I enjoy college football more than I actually do the pros. But like I said again, man, life is about experiences and moments, and I definitely enjoy giving moments and experiences with people. So I can't say this enough, man. If I'm at a fight and you want to talk to me, like please reach out to me, you know, and we'll have a chat.
yes, sir, man. And that's awesome about you. Like I'll tell you this, whenever I first reached out to you, I was probably thought that there was probably like a 3% chance in my mind that I would get an answer. And you've been so incredible in the whole process leading up to this point to finally be able to get you on, man. I've said it a lot throughout the episode. I'm probably ringing your ears off with it, but it is just an honor to really be able to sit down and talk to you finally, man. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you
Yeah,
feel the same.
no, I do, man. I'm very thankful for it.
Yes, sir. So, one thing I wanted to ask as well is what's something that you do before you go out, like knowing that you got to go and do your job on a Saturday night, what do you do before you walk in the venue? Is there like a certain step-by-step thing you do to prepare yourself mentally, knowing that you're going to be in there for hours on end and doing the same thing, and a lot of different stuff could go different routes?
I eat breakfast. I have a good breakfast. I read a book, and then I get ready. I iron my clothes the night before. I make my knuckle pads the night before. So come Saturday, it's just a pretty much easy load and go kind of road. But the consistency is the thing, same thing, and then just doing the same thing, my routine. Eat a good breakfast, have my knuckle pads ready, wake up, go down, and let's go to work. So smile at everybody, greet everybody, shake everybody's hand, and go into the building. Let's get the show on the road.
Yes, sir. Man, and then I just got like two more things that I want to ask you, if that's okay with you, bud.
Okay.
Do you prefer to be in a corner with the contender or the champion?
It doesn't matter to me because at some point I'm in somebody's corner. So I enjoy doing good work. I enjoy wrapping the hands in the back and being in the corner and bonding with my fighters. But it doesn't bother me, man. You're going to get the best version of me if I'm in the contender or if I'm in the red corner. It has no bearing on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the last question I wanted to ask is, who are some of the favorite fighters of yours that you've worked with, and who are some of the funniest?
Rashad is my favorite. He's the funniest. Gilbert is a good one. Charles. Like I said, man, guys will ask me this question, and it's very hard to understand. What's your favorite finger?
Yeah. I get where you're coming from.
So, I mean, we are a family that fights. I'm looking forward to seeing Ian Gary. I'm looking forward to seeing Michael Venom Page. I'm looking forward to seeing Jamal Hill. So imagine your brother being somewhere else, and then all of a sudden in a week, you're going to get to see him. And we're going to have fun, and they're going to talk trash, and I'm going to talk trash. And it's the Fan Expo next week, man. It's going to be a blast because me and Gilbert are going to be goofing around, and I'm going to be, it's just the MMA community has embraced me, and I'm very thankful for it. So I can't say that I have a favorite because we're a family. I don't know if you got brothers and sisters. Which brother do you like? Which sister do you like? So, like this is my family, and I spend time with them, and I'm happy when they win, but I'm just as devastated when they lose, and there's been times I've rapped a guy that's fighting the same guy, and bro, I'm happy that you won, and then I got to go over and say, hey man, it wasn't your night. Like MMA is definitely ebbs and flows of emotion, because I can be in one locker room with Charles and me are cheering, and then I can go over to the next guy and be like, damn, bro, like I know. So and that is it, man. Like, and then after the show I go home and go to sleep because it's such a roller coaster of emotion that you have to just rest up.
Yes, sir. And then one quote that I had seen from a podcast, somebody said MMA is different from all the other sports because in any other sport, you play football, you play baseball, you play basketball, you play soccer, you play hockey. MMA, you can't play MMA, you compete in MMA. And I thought that was a really like a deep quote in a sense. The more you think about it, the more it's kind of realistic.
Very much so. I agree. I mean, I can agree with that. But I mean, but you compete in hockey and all those other things too. So, I mean, you can compete in football. You compete against the other team. You're competing against yourself. All sports have a competition, and the competition starts with you.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's very true as well, man.
Yeah.
But Brad, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on. I mean, it's been an absolute incredible episode. I hope you feel the same. I hope you enjoy being here with us. Jude, you got anything else you want to say?
I was just gonna say, I'm thankful for you coming on. I'm thankful for you being a part of the MMA community. And we just need more people like Brad, man, because you're just a cool, down to earth person. I really appreciate that about you. I think that's why so many people in the MMA community admire you.
I'll be honest with you. You'd be shocked. Most of everybody in the UFC and around is just like me, bro. They're all low. They're. If you get to meet them, you'll be impressed at how easygoing they really are.
Yeah, I mean, and I know we'll get that opportunity at some point very soon. You know, it's there for us. You know, like I tell Jude all the time, man, the foundation's set. We just got to build the walls and ceilings around it. You know, we got the setup. We got everything we need to do it. It's up to us to build it up from here. You know,
100%.
Yes, sir. But again, man, I really appreciate you coming on, Brad. That's gonna be a wrap for us, boss. And God bless you, man. Hope you keep enjoying your work, and hopefully we'll be able to speak again soon, bud.
All right, bro. Y'all guys have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too, bud.